One of the more common things that people use the internet for is to search for images. Let's take a look at some of the features of image searching that might make it helpful for students to find just that right image for their particular presentation or project. Let's search for dinosaurs. And of course, if I do an initial search, I'll get some web pages that have the term dinosaur on them. And I could search through those web pages and find an image of a dinosaur. But of course, it's much more efficient to use the images database. By clicking on the images database, Google, of course, is going to return pages full of images of dinosaur rather than websites of dinosaurs. But some of the advanced features can even be more helpful. At the top of the page, I get some suggested refinements to my initial search that Google suggests maybe this would be more helpful than just searching for dinosaurs. So for example, if after I've started to search for dinosaurs, I realize, what I really want are cute dinosaurs. If I click on cute, it's going to modify my search. Instead of being just a dinosaur search, it's going to be a search for images of cute dinosaurs, and my page changes appropriately. However, even more helpful are the search tools options. If I click on search tools underneath my initial search bar, I can now refine that dinosaur search by a number of parameters. Let's take a look at some of the more helpful ones. The first on the left is the size parameter. This doesn't mean the size of the dinosaur itself, it means the size of the image. And where this can be particularly helpful is if you know that you want to print out the image that you're looking for onto paper for perhaps a poster board or some kind of live presentation, then searching for large images is going to give you better results. These are high density images that are going to have a much greater chance of printing out with clean and crisp images. A second option that might be helpful, so if I click on the color option, say for example, well, I want dinosaurs, but yeah, I only want images that have a lot of red in them. Then I get pages of red dinosaurs. Or let's go for purple dinosaurs. That would be better. Now I get pages of purple dinosaurs. Also, I could search for different types of images. For example, let's go for clip art of dinosaurs instead of images that are photorealistic. I could go for photos of dinosaurs and get images that look like that. Lastly, say for example I want line drawings. I might be doing a coloring project and line drawings of dinosaurs would be more helpful. So some of these alterations to your initial search can be particularly helpful for getting the right image that you want. Lastly, under usage rights, you have the option to search for Creative Commons licensed images, which can be particularly helpful in handling copyright issues. The last feature that I'd like to show you about images, however, is a similar search feature. So say, for example, as I look through these images of dinosaurs, I see one that looks particularly good. I'm not exactly sure if that's the one I want. When I click on it, it's going to open up a larger picture of that image. But then to the right of that, I get similar images, whether it's style or whether it's size or type of dinosaur. And this basically says, okay, I've got this initial image, and I want to find some images that look like that. And you can see that in those smaller boxes to the right-hand side, we've now got images that are visually much the same as that first one. Scrolling down, for example, here's a picture of a dinosaur eye, and you'll notice that Google now is giving me other options for dinosaurs' eyes. So this can be particularly helpful if you find an image that you think is what you want, but you might want to refine it a little bit. So there's some handy features for searching for images. I hope that helps make your searches for images much more useful and productive.